Hello traders. In this video, I would like to address a question that we get very often. And as I've always said in previous videos, when we get enough questions or enough comments on a specific topic, we will make a video and really just dive deep into it. But before I get started, if you have not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button, like this video, hit the notification bell. We like to release videos as often as possible, and when you click that, you will be notified anytime we put out content. So let's get into it. Why is it when we trade Forex, why do we choose, number one, the London Open, or why do we trade more of a breakout strategy? Why are all of our algorithms, why is our office open during these hours? Why do we trade during London? Why do we specifically focus on intraday trading as opposed to swing trading or scalping? I've gone into another video on that particular topic or discussing the 3 different ways to trade. But in this video, I really want to dive into why we do what we do and what our reasoning is behind it, to give all of you just really insight as to why we do what we do. So number one, we trade the London session. There is an Asian session, there is a US session, and a London session. We choose London or European session for the main reason that 75% of all Forex volume, 75% of all trading volume happens during London. So naturally, if you want to just dissect, really giving yourself the best chance at the ability to make money trading Forex, it would be if you trade during London, where 75% of the movement happens, and it can be a little bit more than that. Right then and there, you're already ahead of the game. You are trading when there is actual volume being traded. Now, there's always an exception to the rule. Sometimes during the Asian session or US session, a pair will move drastically. But for the most part, day in, day out, 75% of all of the action is happening during London. So if you want, when you trade Forex, you trade based on volume. You want to see a pair move as much as possible. That's how money is made. So sure, you can trade US session and Asian session, but if you had to choose one of the 3, and we're only human, we can't trade 24 hours a day, even though the markets are open that many hours. If you're going to trade, choose the time, choose the market that has the most amount of volume being traded. Choose where you're actually going to see consistently the most amount of money to be made, and that is London. We are based in the United States, so to be quite frank, yes, it is a pain to get up early in the morning or to adjust your schedule. We're trading when it's completely dark out, when the rest of the world is sleeping. But at the end of the day, we do this to make money, substantial amounts of money, and it really doesn't matter if you look at it from that point, what time of day you're trading. If the money is there to be made, you can adjust your schedule well enough so that you don't drive yourself crazy, then bar none, the London session during London Open is going to be your very best bet to trade. As I always say, the asterisk here is this is intraday trading. So if you're a scalper or a swing trader, you can make money really any time of day. You don't have to specifically pick a market. But if you are an intraday trader, if you are, and in my opinion, more money can be made intraday trading than the other 2, because we're going after 30 to 50 pips per pair. We're in and out of a trade in a day. We're not holding a trade overnight. We're not trading holds. We're not holding trades over the weekend, where things can happen that are just unknown. Another aspect of this is there's a lot of news that happens in Forex. So if we're holding trades for days, If we placed a trade, for example, on a Monday, but there's big news coming out a day or two later, if you're a swing trader and you're holding that trade, you could have that trade being affected, by 50, 100 pip or more moves when a news release comes out. And if you're an intraday trader and you're doing it correctly like we do, you're trading around news. So you can predict with high accuracy that a pair is going to move, roughly 20 to 50 pips depending on what you're trading in a day. If you're in and out of that trade in a day, it's predictable. If you're trading during London, you know that pair has the ability to move that much. So if you just put all of these pieces together, just that alone, if you are an intraday trader and you choose London session, European session for your trades, then it just gives you a higher accuracy of being able to predict what's going to happen. So that's number one. That is when we trade, we choose this. Again, I don't want to take anything away from US and Asian sessions. Certainly we've had trades that last into those sessions as well as overnight, but more than 90% of our trades were in and out in the same day, and we're trading it during London. So to go a step further, and really we'll call this number two, is when do we trade during London? So when the London markets open, when the European session, which is a 1 hour difference between London and Europe, when this open happens, because we know that 75% of the volume is traded, if you can place your trades in the first couple of hours when we have market direction, this is going to be where the big movements will happen early on in the London session. So, just taking it again a step further, when we place those trades or when we send out those signals, we're going to send them during London session. And for the most part, we're going to send them in the first few hours of London because we want to catch a trend at the beginning. And towards the middle or end of the London session, most of our trades are out of that trade for the day. The move has happened, the volume starts to slow down, and we've successfully accomplished our goal. So in the first couple of hours of London, that's when you're seeing these signals that we put out or these trades that we're taking happening. So again, if you just put number one and number two together that I've spoken about, this really gives us the highest degree to predict really just when we want to trade. Now, of course, and I've talked about this in other videos, all of the strategy, everything that we're doing, the algorithms that we've built, we have the analysts, everything is a puzzle, and we're putting the pieces of that puzzle together to place these trades. But if you just take a step back and say, when can I get the best odds? When can I see the most amount of volume? And why should I be doing this? In my opinion, in our company's opinion, this is when you want to trade. This is when the action happens, so to speak. And you're going to give yourself just really a one-up over a US session trader or an Asian session intraday trader where, you can still, again, make money during those sessions, but typically, you're not going to see the volume. You're not going to see the big movements. Generally, when we go into the U.S. session, which follows the London session about halfway through, you're at the tail end of the movement. Not all of the time, but most of the time, you're at the tail end of that move. So if you're getting into a trade during the U.S. session, many times you're getting into that trade halfway through or at the tail end of where it's going to move. And, the old saying, buy, what do they say? They say, buy low, sell high. And this is really the definition of why we don't place trades for the most part in the U.S. session or Asian session, because the move has already happened and we don't want to catch something at the tail end and risk a reversal, or that it's just not going to move that much because the volume is low. So these are really just the aspects of why we do it, we do get a lot of U.S. traders that ask us, can we just send U.S. session signals or Asian session signals? And while it is more inconvenient from a time frame wise, and I completely agree with it, starting the day at midnight is not as attractive as if you live in London or Europe, somewhere where it's you're starting the day in your morning. If you are in the United States and the schedule is backwards, this would be something that you'd have to consider. Can you just physically do it? Can you adjust your schedule? But if you can, as a U.S. trader, this is bar none. This is where the action is. This is where the money is going to be made, which is why we stick to it. We've stuck to it since day one. And if you're in Europe or somewhere else in the world where it's not midnight when Europe is opening, then it's much easier for you to do it. But really, again, as I always say, when we get enough questions about why we trade this particular session, why we trade more of a breakout session, we're trying to catch the move. We're trying to place trades when there's the most amount of volume, and just common sense. This is we want to trade when there's high volume, when we know that movements are going to happen, and we want to trade during the day. We want to be in and out of that trade. So when that movement is done happening, or when it starts to slow down, we can get out of that trade and tackle the next day, on to the next. For us, holding trades where there's we can't predict what's going to happen days from now, weeks from now, like swing trading. This is, in our opinion, this is more high-risk trading. You make less money because you're using much smaller lots. You can have stop losses 50, 100 pips or more, and that's just, for us, it's too much uncertainty unknown. For us as an intraday trader, we can get 80% or better accuracy in our signals. We can predict things a lot better. Again, as I said before, we stay, we steer clear of any news that's coming out. So when we see that there's news on GBP pairs or CAD or US or whatever it is, we're not going to trade that pair for the day, which also increases our chances of just not having a problem when the markets are going crazy and spiking up and down, just out of control. These are just things that, trading year after year, you just see patterns. And if you can put enough, things that can be predicted in your corner, all it's going to do is increase the odds of being able to win trades. And if you mix that with our algorithms and our analysts and everything that we put together as a company, again, this is why we're achieving more than 80% success rate and why we make money every single month, month in and month out. So, as I always say, I hope this video finds you well. If you have not subscribed to us, please do so. Click the notification bell so that you're notified. And if you're interested in Forex signals, we deliver via app in real time, so you receive signals during the London session right on your phone. We give you entrance, exit, price that we enter, and unlike really any other signal provider out there, we follow the trade with you from start to finish. So if we see a trade reverse, we tell you right then, get out of it. If we say, or if we see that we can take a lot further, take profit than our initial projection, we will tell you, stay in this trade. We will give you a new projection. We're here to really maximize how much money you can make. We trade the same exact signals, the same exact accounts that we send out. So our money is on the line just like it is yours. We are vested in your success. And we also offer copy trading. So if you don't want to get up during the London session, if you don't want to do this, where you just want to have your account connected to ours, trades proportionately by your balance, where you just more or less set and forget. We offer full copy trading. You can use any broker you want. We don't force you to use a broker that we're getting a back-end commission from. So any broker you want, we can connect you within an hour. Your account trades proportionately, and really all you do is just sit back and check stats. The exact trades that we take on our accounts and the same signals that we send out, you will get those exact same trades as a copy trader from our signal. So I hope this video finds you well. I hope this has really answered this question. Again, we get it a lot as to why we trade London, why we trade in the beginning of the London session normally, and this is why. Really, the name of the game is when you're trading Forex, stack the odds as much as possible in your favor, and anything that is not in your favor, and again, in my opinion, trading the other two sessions when the volume is lower, that's not in your favor. If you trade London where the first hour or two when the volume is the highest it's going to be all day, where the most amount of movement is going to happen, this is stacking the odds in your favor. Put those things in your corner. This is how you're going to make more money trading Forex. Thank you very much. Have a great day, traders.